Evaluating polynomial values. The question is saying evaluate p of -1 in this polynomial up here. You might be wondering, what is that? What does that even mean? So a good way of thinking of it is just substitute every x. This is saying to substitute every x in the polynomial with -1. Whatever's in here is going to get substituted into the polynomial. And then after that, once that's done, that's the hard step, and after that it's just simplifying the expression down. A good way to remember that and properly understand it is if you compare this p of x with this p of -1, the difference between those two is that the x has been gone and replaced in the left-hand side with a -1. And so, because we know that whatever you do to the left-hand side, you have to do to the right-hand side, we'll need to go through and do the same thing to all the x's that you see in the definition of the polynomial. So, without further ado, let's try to actually do that now. So, p of -1, I'm going to go through and replace every x with -1 in brackets. So, -1 cubed plus 2 of -1 squared minus -1 plus 5. It's extremely important to do the brackets because you'll see in a moment we're going to simplify using our order of operations, and if we didn't put the brackets there, we would most likely lose a negative or something terrible would happen, so just remember to always put those brackets when you substitute. Good, so let's go on to the next step. We are now doing order of operations to simplify this down, and by the way, I should mention, once you've gotten to this point, from here on, it's already very straightforward because you're just simplifying. I think you would probably get a whole mark just for writing this out in the first place because you can show that you've understood what the question is asking. That's actually the hard part. And after this is just basic arithmetic. Okay, so let's go through that arithmetic now. So we're going to start with our powers. So -1 cubed is -1 plus 2 times -1 squared is +1. Minus -1 is +1, and plus 5. Next step, we'll just do our multiplication out. So -1 plus 2 plus 1 plus 5. And finally, we are just going to go through and add and subtract everything together. So -1 plus 2 plus 1 plus 5 is equal to 7.